Hey everybody, and welcome to the community stand-up for the AllReady project with the Humanitarian Toolbox. We meet here every couple of weeks or so, sometimes a couple of weeks in a row, sometimes not for several weeks, but we try to meet here and keep everybody updated with what's going on the project. We've got an awesome group of folks that are joining us from across the pond here this morning for us, this afternoon for them, and they've been working hard away on the AllReady project all day in their time zone. Times are hard. But I'm going to start with just going over to Tony here really quickly and giving us some updates organizationally.
Yep, thank you. I'm not sure if that means James is turning into a cyborg or it's just my audio, but sounded a bit like a Decepticon there. So yeah, first of all, I want to thank all the folks we have in the room. Very excited. I think we just hit a baker's dozen of pull requests, but I'll let you go through that in a little bit. Looking at the status of the project, we are just a few shy of 2,100 commits. So another milestone. We keep breaking milestones, and one contributor shy of 125. So we've got significant momentum, a lot of work going on here. Earlier this week, I and Jim from the Chicago American Red Cross met. We found a number of issues, a number of bits and pieces that really need to get into place, because we're about to do an exercise with this on the way to getting it running live installs. And the great news out of that review was primarily what we found was functionality was there, functionality was working. We're now getting closer to sort of sanding off some of the rough corners, fixing up a bit of the UI, realizing now, seeing some users actually use it, how we want to tweak things a little bit. So we've got a great set of issues there. Actually, a lot of them have been addressed already today by the crew over there. So we'll continue to have a few issues. And then very soon here, we'll be reporting about a batch of issues I'm sure will come once we get it in an actual field exercise. And then quickly after that, we'll fix those and we will be going live. But the momentum and the contribution and the volunteerism is going great. I was worried about losing a little momentum after holidays, but it's picking back up, and we'll continue forward. So project's looking great. Thanks.
Right on. And a big part of that has been due to the work that Steve's been contributing, and we have absolutely loved the way that you have somehow do you have like evidence to bribe or to blackmail everybody in, or how are you getting all these people to join in over there?
Pizza was the trick today.
Pizza's easy enough. That works. That seems to be a universal food. Okay, well, why don't you guys go around the room really quickly and let us know the kinds of things you're working on today.
Okay, today I worked on a couple of cases. First case was 1905. Is to do with an issue where some of the pages, basically non-existing URL, are going to a dead page. No any friendly error page to handle that. So we've managed to fix that today. So every non-existing URL basically redirects to a friendly error page telling you, yeah, there's an error of any error status code 44 or 443. Any error will redirect to that error page. That's it for 1905. Case 2 is 1880. Is to do with the details, campaign details page. It's a request where we need to add the organizer name and organizer logo in the campaign's detail page. So I've done that. It's now as a pull request. Case 1873 is a request to have a register separate tab in the home page. So we have the login and the register just next to it. So I've done that. It's gone on to a pull request. The case I'm working on right now is 1871. Is to do with the account detail page. So we want to separate the account information from the user skills, basically. So the account information will be a separate tab and the user skill would be on a separate tab. That's what I'm currently working on.
Right on. Good stuff.
Okay, so today I worked on pull request 1875, which was replacing the active campaign lister on the homepage with the upcoming events lister. So it's showing all events, associated campaign information, as well as organisations. I also picked up 1884, which was enabling address validation on the Create Events page. and I picked up a small issue 1878, which is just removing a create campaign button from a public facing page. And at the moment I picked up 1886, which is adding a page for organizer admins to send management invites out, which I'm currently working on.
Right on, you guys are chewing it up. Good stuff.
I haven't got the issue numbers with me, but I did one where I fixed the campaign goal progress bar, and the other one I fixed removed campaign goals from the campaign edit page and the admin site. The two I didn't say.
Brilliant.
Chris, you want to go next?
Yeah, sounds like everyone's done a lot more than me. But yeah, so I've just been sitting here eating pizza and drinking beer all day. No, so I've worked on a couple of issues. The first one was 1870, so that was just changing some text and tidying up a bit of things in the account details page. And then I've also been working on 1882, which is finding out why the preview screen in the campaign edit screen was crashing, not crashing, but it wasn't returning anything when they clicked on it. So I've literally just fixed that and submitted a pull request for that.
Great. So our preview now previews.
It does, yeah. It does do what it's meant to do now. I had a couple of questions come out of that, but I'll put them in the pull request, and I think we'll talk about those after this meeting.
Excellent.
So I spent the first part of the morning actually setting up the project. Second part, I spent changing the way that the breadcrumb trails work so that they're now a bit more useful, a bit more user-friendly, and adding them to more public pages so that you now have better navigation around the whole map. Second part that I've done is I've rearranged the top navigation so that we now have organisation, campaign, and events. The wrinkle at the end of this is that we don't actually have an events lister page. So that presently doesn't pull anything through. However, Patrick, part of his work, has pulled through the listers, so I'm going to repurpose part of that to give us something in the short term. And the last thing I'm looking at is resizing the hero image. There's no pull request for that yet, but that's going to be the last bit I'm looking at. That's it.
Good bunch of stuff.
Is that for, sorry, was that for, you said resizing the hero image?
Yes, on the homepage.
So is that something, like, are you meaning like, that's not like for when when somebody uploads an image, that's just the actual hero image that we've got. We could probably just use the responsive class for that, right?
On the homepage, the issue is when Jim and I were going through it, the hero image or whatever you want to call it basically consumes, like, it consumes all available space, basically, regardless of what web browser you're looking at it on what device. And, you know, while we've got a lovely logo, I think the actual data is something people care about.
Fair enough. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then I've been working on what's turning out to be a bit of an epic around restructuring our authorization access within the application. So now we've got the concepts coming in of event managers, campaign managers. We needed a way to kind of hook those up nicely and to be able to work out, depending on what role you're operating the site under, what you can actually do within the application. So I've started to get to a concept of sort of authorizable objects within our system that we can easily just, from our actions, just call out to this helper method that will tell us if the currently logged in user should be able to perform things within that action. So once that's tidied up a bit more, I'm just fighting the unit testing user manager, which is a horrible class. And once that's sorted out, we'll get that sort of prototype in and see how it works for the rest of the site.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that the ASP.NET team, it's like they got to those last two classes and they're just like, meh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna want to test those.
Yeah.
Okay, well, just again, like I know Tony will echo it as well, but when groups like you guys come together and drop a dozen or so pull requests on the project in a weekend, it is phenomenal to see the progress and how far you guys can move that yardstick down the field closer to what we're doing. Does that translate? Sorry, yardstick down the field is like American football.
Looking for meter stick.
Yeah, the meter stick. You guys, I don't know. Anyways, you guys are getting us closer to the goal line anyways, and so that's definitely appreciated. Tony, anything before we close out here?
No, like I said, we've just got a lot of sort of fit and finish and, you know, a little bit of functionality issues here and there. Certainly we Just heard some great pull requests, sanding off some of those sharp corners we were talking about. And looking forward to seeing where everything closes up today. And then the momentum this builds to really just kind of get it perfect. Well, maybe not perfect, but get it pretty good. So when it gets in the hands of users, they don't sort of, fight with buttons, and they can actually get the productivity they want out of it. So thank you all. Again, it's phenomenal just hearing everything you've been working on, as well as issues we logged earlier this week already being checked off and completed. That's great.
And as much as I have tried to make a professional sports event out of having users click buttons, it just is not paying out. So I guess it's time just to relent on that and allow proper user interface designers to step in and make something that's worth using. Again, everybody over the pond, and thanks for everybody over the wire for joining us today, finding out more about the project. You can hit us on GitHub at github.com/HTBox. We're the AllReady project. It's fairly active. You should see us up in the top there, but we do have quite a bit of information in the documentation tab, some great stuff in there on how to get involved, and just reach out to us on Twitter, HTBox, or comment on our videos, or whatever you need to do to get a hold of us. We are more than happy to have people join in and help out. Thanks again, everyone, and we will see you in 2 weeks, April 1st, for the next stand-up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.